Hello, boys and girls. We are about to read chapter 12. Do you remember what happened in chapter 11? The dog rescued Edward from a pile of trash at the dump. I wish Luna would come out, but it's raining, thunderstorms, and Luna's really scared of thunderstorms. Maybe if I read for a little bit, she'll come out. Here, you look at the dog. See if you can hold this while I read it. Edward did not have much time to savor the light, for the dog suddenly appeared above him, dark and shaggy, blocking his view. Edward was pulled out of the garbage by his ears, dropped, and then picked up again, this time around the middle, and shaken back and forth, with a great deal of ferocity. The little dog growled, "Ugh," deep within his throat, and then dropped Edward again and looked him in the eye. Edward stared back. "Hey, get out of here, you dog!" It was Ernest, king of the garbage, and therefore king of the world. The dog grabbed Edward by his pink dress and took off running. "That's mine, mine, mine! All the garbage is mine!" Ernest shouted. "You come back here." But the little dog did not stop. The sun was shining, and Edward felt exhilarated. Who, having known him before, would have thought that he could be so happy now, crusted over with garbage, wearing a dress, held in a slobbery mouth of a dog, and being chased by a madman? But he was happy. The dog ran and ran until he reached a railroad track. They crossed over the tracks, and there, underneath a scraggly tree in a circle of bushes, Edward was dropped in front of a large pair of feet. The dog began to bark. "Woof, woof, woof." Edward looked up and saw that the feet were attached to an enormous man with a long, dark beard. "What's this?" said the man. Remember before, when Edward was picked up by Abeline's dog or the neighbor's dog? He did not like it. But now he's so happy to be rescued. I guess China rabbits can change their mind. "What's this, Lucy?" "What? The dog's name is Lucy?" "Hi, Lucy." He bent and picked up Edward. He held him firmly around the middle. "Lucy," said the man, "I know how much you enjoy rabbit pie." Lucy barked. Yes, I know. Rabbit pie is a true delight, one of the pleasures of our existence." Lucy let out a hopeful yip. "Woof! Can we make rabbit pie out of Edward?" "Why not?" "And what we have here, what you have so graciously delivered to me, is definitely a rabbit. But the best chef in the world would be hard-pressed to make him into a pie," Lucy growled. "Ugh. This rabbit is made of china, girl." The man held Edward closer to him. They looked each other in the eye. "You're made of china, aren't you, Malone?" He gave Edward a playful shake. "You're some child's toy, am I right? You have been separated somehow from the child who loves you." Edward felt again the sharp pain in his chest and thought of Abeline. He saw the path leading up to the house on Egypt Street. He saw the dusk descending and Abeline running toward him. So he's using his imagination, remembering with Abeline. Yes, Abeline had loved him. "So, Malone," said the man. Okay, so first he was Edward, then he was Susanna, now he's Malone. Okay, let's see what happens to Malone. He cleared his throat. "You are lost. This is my guess. Lucy and I lost too." At the sound of her name, Lucy let out another yip. "Woof! Perhaps, the man, you would like to be lost with us. I found it much more agreeable to be lost in the company of others. My name is Bull. Lucy, as you may have surmised, is my dog. Would you care to join us? What do you think Edward's going to say?" Bull waited for a moment, staring at Edward, and then with his hands still firmly around Edward's waist, the man reached one enormous finger up and touched Edward's head from behind. He pushed it so it looked as if Edward were nodding his head in agreement. "Yes." "Look, Lucy, he's saying yes," said Bull. "Malone has agreed to travel with us. Isn't that swell?" Lucy danced around Bull's feet, wagging her tail and barking. And so it was that Edward took to the road with a hobo and his dog. I want to see what Bull looks like. You think the next picture will show us? Oh, yeah, chapter 13. There's Bull and Edward. We already know what Lucy looks like. Let's see what happens in chapter 13. They traveled on foot. They traveled in empty rail cars. They were always on the move. But in truth, here's a Bull. said Bull. We are going nowhere. That, my friend, is the irony of the constant movement. Edward rode in Bull's bedroll, slung over Bull's shoulder, with only his head and ears sticking out. Bull was always careful to position the rabbit so he was looking down or up, but was instead forever looking behind him. Oh, so he was not looking down or up. At the road they had just traveled, so he's looking backwards the whole time. See that? At night they slept on the ground under the stars. Lucy, after their initial disappointment about Edward being unfit for consumption, took a liking to him, and she slept curled up beside him. Sometimes she even rested her muzzle on his what? What do you think? His tail? His ears? His china stomach. And then the noises they made in her sleep, whimpering and growling and chuffing, resonating inside of Edward's body. To his surprise, he began to feel a deep tenderness for the dog. During the night, while Bull and Lucy slept, Edward, with his ever-open eyes, stared up at the constellations. He said their names, and he said the names of the people who loved him. He started with Abilene, then went to Nellie and Lawrence, and from there to Bull and Lucy, and then he ended again with Abilene. Abilene, Nellie, Lawrence, Bull, Lucy. Abilene, Nellie, Lawrence, Bull, Lucy. Abilene. See, Edward told Pellegrina, I am not like the princess. I know about love. There were times, too, when Bull and Lucy gathered around a campfire with other tramps. Bull was a good storyteller and even a better singer. Sing for us, Bull, the man shouted. Oh, look, so this says Edward loved it when Bull sang. I wonder why Bull calls Edward Mullane. Sounds like a boy's name to me, but I guess it could be a girl's name, too. Because Edward still has his dress on. Bull sat with Lucy leaning against his leg, and Edward balanced on his right knee, and he sang from somewhere deep inside himself. Just as Edward could feel Lucy's whimpers and growls resonate through his body at night, he could also feel the deep, sad sound of Bull's songs move through him. Edward loved it when Bull sang, and he was grateful to Bull, too, for sensing that a dress was not the right... Oh my gosh, it's like he heard me. The right kind of clothing for Edward. Malone, said Bull one night, it's not my desire to offend you or comment negatively on your choice of garb, but I'm forced to tell you that you stick out like a sore thumb in that princess dress. And also, again, with no wish to offend you, the dress has seen better days. Nellie's beautiful dress had not fared well at the dump or in its subsequent ramblings with Bull and Lucy. It was so torn and dirty and full of holes that it barely resembled a dress anymore anyway. What do you think? Should they take it off? I have a solution, said Bull. I hope it meets with your approval. He took his own knit stocking cap and put a big hole in the top of it and 2 small holes on the sides of it, and then he took off Edward's dress. Look away, Lucy, he said to the dog. Let's not embarrass Malone by staring at his nakedness. Bull slid the hat over Edward's head and pulled it down and poked his arms through the smaller holes. There you go, he said to Edward. Now you just need some pants. The pants Bull made himself, cutting up several red handkerchiefs and sewing them together so they formed a makeshift covering for Edward's long legs. Now you have the proper outlaw look, said Bull, standing back to admire his work. Now you look like a rabbit on the run. Okay, so here's a picture of Edward. So Edward has a new family. I'm so glad he's not alone. We'll see what happens next time. It's chapter 14, so the next chapter is 15. All right, bye.